All right. Boy, look at that dirty face. We've been cutting and burning wood all day today. We've got something special we're gonna start. Carport pad that's about halfway done. So we've got two nice piles of gravel. I'll put in a couple clips of those getting dumped here. And we've got a Mini, a little Kubota 33 that we're renting, little dozer blade on it, 4-way. It's got an angle and obviously up and down, so a little easier to grade, and to float, so it'll be significantly easier to grade some stuff around. But we're gonna see how this all turns out. we've got our pad laid out. Now we just got to schmooze it out just a little bit, tidy up the end there so that we can have access, so we should be good to go. You can see the layout here. There's a corner. We need to have a couple feet on either side. There's one of our stakes there. Now we just got to pull some of this rock up and put it on the edge over here by that stake and that orange paint mark there. Tidy it up. Hopefully we have enough to ramp down. It's about, that's probably 3.5 feet, 3 feet maybe of fill. I mean, it's all slopes out here. There's hardly any flat ground until you get across the road, and then it's all just farmland. But had to move our boulder wall a little bit. We'll get that tidied up here in a little. Just add this pile of rock onto the other side. Hopefully that'll turn out nice and not look like garbage. But let's see if we can find a good spot to put this thing on the machine, and we'll keep going. All right, well, we've got our 2 feet around just about, except for this little patch right here. We might stake over. It's probably pretty close. Suppose we could check. So we're pretty close. Maybe just a couple shovelfuls there. It's going to be a while before this building gets built anyways. The manufacturer and crew is booked out for quite a while, so. But we'll check grade one last time, probably gussy it up with a rake, and then pack it all in. So I think we'll probably time lapse for that. And we'll come back when we're done with all that. Got the pad all graded out. It's just enough room for that pad, so right here where this big drop off is and by the bucket, we'll have to get some more rock just to make a nice access ramp down here. Had to pick apart my rock wall a little bit just to get some room, and we'll see if we can maybe fix some of that in a little bit. But so far everything's looking pretty decent. Ground's good and hard. Heel test for compaction. That should stand up just as accurate as the nuclear density testing. Totally fine. But I think now what we're going to do is back drag this road one or two good times and see if we can get it to kind of smooth out. Originally we had crushed river rock dumped on this road, and it was real bony, not a lot of fines, so we'll drag it with the Mini and see if we can smooth it out a little bit. Hopefully with all the rain it'll help that stuff lock together a little bit better. But yeah, let's see what we can get into. So I'm not really sure what happened, but the camera malfunctioned and it totally missed me putting all these rocks back on the wall. This definitely isn't like a permanent thing. It's just more of a stockpile for these that looks halfway cute. But this is the rest of the ones that we put up there. I think some of it caught some of it just kind of towards the end, but it pretty much looks like they were supposed to be there, all those dead leaves and all that. But we ended up being able to fish some more out from back in here, and you can kind of see the dirt patch right here and over here. We fished about, I don't know, 8 or 10 of them out of there. And this used to be a ditch, that ran between kind of 3 different properties, but for some reason it doesn't take on any more water. So I don't know if somebody up the hill stopped it up or what, but at least it's open. You can kind of see some of the riprap that's in here I cleaned up over the summertime. Also just mostly to store it. It's not really doesn't really serve a purpose anymore, but I think now we're gonna go over there, if you can see by the burn pile, and actually right on the property line, and see if we can pick some of the neighbors' logs up that are right next to the fence and just toss them on our burn pile for them. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully the camera will stay on this time. We got all of our tasks done for the day. I'll walk up here on the pad. Got everything painted back out. In a nice rectangle shape. Definitely gonna have to Get some more rock on this edge here. Hopefully we can get a hold of the pit early enough on Monday, filming this on a Saturday, that they'll be able to bring out some gravel before that little Mini goes back. Because we were going to burn that big burn pile today, but DEQ says that we're not allowed to, and I don't know if it's because of all the fog or what, but it's been foggy all day today. I mean, it's 4:15 now, so we're getting close to dark, but it was the same thing yesterday too, which is really strange. I've never seen that in this area. It's really quiet too. Very quiet today, but anyway, hopefully when we get some more gravel in this corner to ramp down, that'll kind of cover up the bald spot in our wall. And I picked a lot of those out of there just because I didn't want to bury them. These things are pretty valuable, and might as well keep them around if we got them, especially since they were free. And just find them in the ground around here. So, but I think that'll do it for today. Hopefully we can have another segment on this video sometime soon with some more gravel. we weren't able to get any more rock for the pad, and because the manufacturer for the carport was booked out so far and we were already in it for 4 loads of rock, we decided just to smooth it all out while the machine was here and pack it all in. Got it tied in over here to the rock wall a little bit. Once it rains, that'll all match up really nicely. We got everything packed in, road raked out, and we actually, and if you remember, you know, somewhere right in here was kind of our line for the edge of where the carport was going to be. But now that we've spread all the rock out, we've got all this extra drivable space. So that's pretty cool. It fits a truck on it just fine. No issues getting up whatsoever. Thankfully it rained quite a bit while the piles were sitting here before they got spread out. And then today's Monday, so yesterday, Sunday, I didn't do anything at all out here because it just poured down rain and was like, we were basically sitting in a cloud all day long. So it got a lot of moisture on it. Went around and just used a garden rake on this hill and the one on the other side of the house, and everything seems to have turned out pretty well. Grandpa's pleased, so that's always a plus. It's his dime and his land, so anything we can do to help out, since he's helping us out, it's a good thing. But I think I'm just gonna leave all the lines on the pad from the compactor. I think it kind of adds some character, and there's actually a little bit of a crown on this, so it slopes kind of towards the bank and then off towards the road, and then goes up just a little bit. There's a little bit of a valley in there. You can kind of see where the dark rock meets the lighter rock. It's not exactly where that valley is, but it's kind of in that general area. So we'll have plenty of drainage, and especially now since we're lower than we were back here, and this ditch doesn't really catch much water. There is drain tile in here. It goes off somewhere over that way, and there's also drain tile in this corner too that ties in to the tile that's over here. But again, this doesn't catch water anymore, so not really a huge deal. But it turned out pretty good, and pretty happy with how the mess turned out. So and we'll catch y'all on the next one.